Hey folks, thanks for tuning in. This is episode 2 of the CRF450, or the money pit, I'll call it. Yeah, not happy with this purchase. It was really stupid for me to buy this. I don't even actually want it. I just for some reason thought I needed a big, modern-ish 4-stroke single. Anyway, watch me drive myself crazy for the next hour trying to figure out what's wrong with the carburetor. I think I finally figure out what's going on with the carburetor. Yeah, anyway, just go ahead and watch me drive myself crazy. See ya. So I took the carb off again. I did some research last night. When you open the throttle, the accelerator pump is supposed to pump a spray right in to this little brass port that's right there. So if I just take carb clean, put it right on the port here, nothing. So it's clogged between here and there. So now I gotta take the float bowl off again. See if I can find the clog. Alright, so if I shoot spray into the port on here, comes out. So that's not clogged. So it's clogged between here, where it's supposed to go in. You know what I'm going to try to do? So this lower body part here comes away from the rest of the carburetor. There's other O-rings and stuff inside there, and there can be gunk in there. I'm going to try hitting it with compressed air and see if that works and free it up. So there's 4 screws in here that hold this base on. Of course they don't budge. There we go, good. That seemed to work. Okay, there we go. There it is. So, there's a seal around the outside, seal around that area, this area. Let's see, so the hole that I'm looking for is here. And that looks to me like it's blocked off. I wonder if it's like a California model, if they block them off, because if you look at this, this is supposed to be the fuel inlet, I believe, and that looks to me like it's blocked off. That's the outlet, that's the inlet. Oh. There it is. Alright, so that part is not clogged. So, it's this part. Alright, so I just did that and spray went through. Almost like somebody blocked it off. Right here, you see that piece of metal there that's inside that tube? Right? So that's where the gas gets shooted up into, and it's supposed to go through there. But that looks to me like it's blocked off. So I'm going to go Google that. Alright, well, I was able to shoot gas in here, and it comes out there. And then I was able to shoot it from under here into here. I hit it with air. That little piece of metal that's in here, it's like some kind of flow restrictor. I looked at some videos online of people rebuilding. They all have that. It's this one that some have and some don't, but the picture in the book of the accelerator pump has it right there. It's some kind of flow restrictor. So it doesn't mean it doesn't work. It's some kind of flow restrictor. Now trying to put this back together, this gasket is absorbed so much crap. I just can't get it to go in place. It's definitely been opened before. And since I need some other O-rings, like the O-rings that go on the fuel thing here, I just went ahead and ordered 3 different kits: a mid-body kit, accelerator pump kit, and a generic one for the top and bottom gaskets, the O-rings. Almost like that's like $100. Then you can buy like the whole carburetor, like a knockoff version of this. If this is, I don't even know if this is a K-Hine. You can buy the whole carburetor with the throttle position sensor for $120. I probably should have just done that, but hey, I like to waste my money. Okay, anyway, the reason I took the carburetor off was to check the valve clearance, because the not starting thing, hard to start, is a whole bunch of videos where everyone says the same thing. It's the valve adjustment. So anticipating that it will be the valve adjustment, these are adjusted with shims. I ordered a shim kit, so I can't go any further. But I can do is take the cover off and check what the valve adjustment is currently. All right, valve adjustment. There's a ton of play on the exhaust. One of the intakes is okay, the other one is too tight. So tight that I couldn't get my smallest gauge, feeler gauge, to go in there. So left side, right side. The left side exhaust, I measured 0.03, so that's 0.03 of an inch, so 0.762 millimeters. The right side is 0.035 inches, or 0.889 millimeters. The spec is supposed to be within 0.01 to 0.012 inches, or 0.25 to 0.31 millimeters. So this is like more than double, almost, yeah, 3 times. I wonder if there's even a shim in there. So that's totally bonkers, but I think probably what's keeping it from starting is this one. This is like just bound too tight. In this one, so it's supposed to be 0.130 to 0.190 millimeters, and it's 0.178. So that left-hand side intake valve is okay. This one is too tight. Yeah, I couldn't. The smallest feeler gauge I have is 0.0015 inches, which is 0.038 millimeters, and that wouldn't even go in there. But it's so thin you can't like push it or anything. So I'm blocked there. I'll have to wait for the shim kit. I'm not believing that this bike ran and was put away because it ran, and the guy just didn't want to ride it anymore. What he said is he got sick of kicking it. Now that I completely do believe, and it's possible that it was better. I don't know. Maybe he bought it and it ran like crap. I don't know. So the carburetor, the throttle position sensor, I own that out. That's junk. So that's another $30. So I'm $120 into the carburetor, and it's $120 for the shim kit. and I'll have to wait on that. I can make progress on the tires. I could do the tires. I could do the chain. I may do that. I may switch to something else. I've got so much crap I want to do. That disc is beat to hell. Minimum thickness, 3.5 millimeters, just out of curiosity. 2.9. I mean, not that anyone cares about safety. It's not a street bike. The one nice thing about these CRS is that there seem to be a gazillion aftermarket parts for them. So there's that. So maybe I'll put one of those on order because I'm putting everything else on order for this effing thing. Okay. I don't know that I've ever seen a sprocket that's this bad. Just strip. So look at right here. See where this spokes are? See how loose it is? That one's still on. There we go. Okay. Well, this feels like it's aluminum. This does not feel like steel. Look at that. Ruined. M601154. 50 tooth. Right. You can see here the broken spoke. Right. Electrical tape for the rim strip. Alright, so I gotta get the bad spoke out of there. Here it is here. Let's see, is that the inner? It's difficult to tell what's an inner and what's an outer because they all go to the inside. This is kind of on the outside. So this one, which one does it go? Over here. Here it is. Is that where it goes? Oh, that's not the hole. Okay, this is the hole. So that would be, I guess, an inner. So what am I talking about? So basically, usually you have inside and outside spokes. I don't have a wheel in front of me to show you, but I think this is going to be called an outside, and that's going to be called an inside. So I bought one inner and one outer. Okay, let's see. Okay, it's gonna wobble. Huge wobble. Yeah, I don't know how much of this I'm going to show. Let's see. So you can see the pointer. So it goes way over to the right and then comes back. So a little bend right there. You can actually see it right here. Just looks like the rim has been hit right there. Yeah, right there. Maybe I can whack that with the mallet, see if that does anything for it. Yeah, but the big problem is that it goes way over to the right. So in this ballpark here, I want to tighten the outer spokes to see if you can pull the rim back that way. Now as far as like the up and down part, and down isn't too bad. It's I gotta get the right to left wobble out of it before I can really do much of anything else. I'm not gonna make it perfect. I'm just gonna make it so everything's tight and it's decent. All right, well, this sucks. So the deal with the rim is, where is it? It's cracked right there. Goes all the way through, right to there. Every attempt I've made to turn any of the existing spokes to tighten them at all, they just kind of spin around. I don't like this design. You can see they're just kind of straight in. It's not like they have an angle that resists. They're all frozen. You can see where I put vice grips on it. No good, it just spins. So I can't tighten any of them. I can't make any adjustments. So then what do? Spoke set, it's 50, 60 bucks. I'm not going to respoke this rim. It's bent and it's beat to hell and it's cracked. So then you got to get a rim. That's like 160 bucks if you get a rim and spoke set. Or you can buy the whole wheel for 200. There's various different options, 200-300. So I just went and I spent 400 bucks on a new front rim and rear rim in black with a CNC hub, and it comes with the bearings and everything. So, did I want to spend $400 on this bike where I don't even know if the engine's any good? No, but I'm just wasting my money on motorcycles. So now I'm pretty much stopped. I think I'll throw this back on it so that I can just wheel it. I should just wheel it out to the dumpster and cut my losses, but I'm not going to. I'm not giving up. Alright, I'm not sure what I can do now. I'm done working on this thing. I gotta move to something else. Nice. Let's get the bearings, spacer. Came with seals and the offset bushing kind of thing. I wonder how straight it is. And this is the front wheel. Perfect. No wobble. You can see right there's a blip where it's welded together. The front one's perfect. And the rear one, perfect. Nice. I think those were about $460 delivered, so $230 a wheel. Hard to beat that. Probably didn't, need a front, but if you get it was just an incredible deal. The amount of money it would have cost to get one rim and the spoke set, you're already into it for 200 bucks and at least, and then there's the aggravation of putting all together, and then there's cleaning the hub up. These are pretty good option. CNC machined pre-assembled rims. They got here fast too, maybe a week and a half. Okay, back on the money pit / CRF. Shim kit has come in, so I can hopefully adjust the valves. So I got to take the head cover back off of it. I really should wash this thing. Also, the 3 different carburetor rebuild kit things came for the carburetor and the position sensor and the little cover, about $130, $140 worth of parts for the carburetor. This kit was 130 bucks delivered. There's a lot of different shims. And I got one that has 3 sizes of each. So hopefully whatever I need is there. Hope. Okay, so let me get that cover back off of there. Boy, there is some crap in here, huh? Yuck. Let's try and get a Q-tip and get some of this gunk out of here. See that goo? I think there's a little bit of rust on the cam chain too, which I will try to just wire wheel out of there. I don't know if it's actually on it. Yeah, I think it is. Alright, so before I do anything, I need to put it back in top dead center on the compression stroke. There. And in here, there's a mark. Okay, so it's already on it. And these guys will have these little marks here are supposed to be lined up. Yeah, there's an arrow right in there. I don't know if you can see it. See that arrow there? So that arrow on the head cam holder thing lines up with that right there. Okay, so goop on there. I don't know that I have to take the cam chain off of it, but there was one video I looked at where the guy took these screws out, these bolts out, and then leaned it up. I only need to get at the shim that's on that one, and then I need to get at these ones because the exhaust is way out. Yeah, so I think I will just take the chain off of there, get everything out of the way. Alright, well, I loosened one of the bolts. I'm going to take it out yet. Loosen this other bolt. Better loosen the cam chain tensioner, huh? Yeah, okay, so that's this thing here. Go read up on that. Well, it just says to remove this bolt from the tensioner. Okay. Not sure what that does. And it says something about a special tool, which I don't have, that you're supposed to insert in there. Before you take it out. So why don't I just take it out? Feel it has some kind of spring pressure on it. Alright, tension is off anyway. There's a plunger which does not push back in. I'm sure there's a way that you reset it. I'll look into it later. How do you do that? Alright, well, it says to put it on the exhaust stroke. Okay, so that's top dead center for the exhaust stroke. But of course I can't get at these bolts. Alright, so now I have access to these shims, and the one that was here. Oh, okay. So both the intake shims came out. Both the exhaust shims are there. And here they are. So that one is fine. That one's in spec. This one is the one that's not. The head bolt is pretty rusty, the head nut. Okay, alright, well let's figure out what's what here. Okay, so the right hand intake valve had, as far as I could tell, 0 lash. The smallest feeler gauge that I have, I couldn't get it in there, and that was 0.038 millimeter. So if I just assume that there's 0 clearance, the shim that was in there is a 1.35 millimeter shim. That's this one here. The left-hand one is a 1.3, but that one had proper clearance. So let's say that it had 0 lash. So then I want between 0.13 and 0.19 millimeters. Let's call it 0.15. So the current shim is 1.35 minus the clearance I need would be a 1.2. And this is the 1.2. It's the smallest one that they have. And I did measure it to make sure that it is in fact, sorry, that's the 1.35 that was in it. So it says right on it. And here's the 1.2. Okay, so I put in this 1.2. Should be good. That's the intake. Okay, now the exhaust. Go figure that out. Okay, and for the right hand exhaust, that was the one that had the largest clearance, 0.889 millimeters, and it's supposed to have between 0.25 and 0.31, which if you average that out, it's 0.28. And then they give you a little calculator here. The thickness of the old shim, which was a 1.4, the valve clearance that you measured, we round that to 0.89, and the desired clearance is 0.28. So if I plug those numbers in, I come up with 2.57. There's no 2.57, but there's a 2.55. So 2.55 should be good for the right hand exhaust. Go. There you go. All right, and now I'll do the left-hand one. See if I can read what's on it. It's my eyesight. Hot cam, so this has been done before. That's a 1.4 also, so both of these are 1.4s. Okay. Yeah, I'll just plug those numbers in and find the right one for that one. Okay, and if I did the math on the left-hand one, the measured valve clearance was 0.762. It's supposed to be 0.28, so that's too large by about half a millimeter. So it had 1.4 in it, same as the other one. And if I do that calculation, I come up with a 1.88. They don't have that. There's a 1.85 and a 1.8, a 1.9. So I'll put a 1.9 in it. Okay. Okay, so valve clearance wise, I'm good. I'm gonna get a Q-tip and some carb cleaner and get as much of this gunk out of here. See if I can get a tiny little wire wheel and hit that junk there. That actually looks pretty good in the head cover. Don't know that I want to take this apart. But there is some light surface rust on the cam, and I'll at least get some Scotch-Brite and see if I can get rid of that. And these bolts have some rust on them. I'll go clean that up and oil them. That's just a result of it sitting out for a long time. Okay. Alright, well, I think I've cleaned that up enough. I got the gunk out of there. And then the cam. You can see the remnants of some rust right there. It's not on the lobes, and I got rid of the light surface rust that was there with some Scotch-Brite. So, they want you to put some grease on the lobes. This thing, decompression valve. Okay. And cups are in. Just put a little oil on the threads. I clean these up. So it says install these lightly. Just want to be sure that it's 120 inch-pounds. I'm just going to go ahead and. Well, that one's not even close. Are they different sizes? Oh, that's not good. Those are the same size. Yep, two of them are shorter. So these would be the shorter ones. 80 inch-pounds. Now, and now we're going to put the cam sprocket on. It said put the intake valves up, and I didn't put the intake valves up. Right, so what am I talking about? So the intake valves are kind of pointed downish. So I want it right up there, where it just got done with the exhaust stroke. Should be right there. Now we're going to tighten this up again. So if you see there, I don't know if you can see it, that little mark is aligned with the arrow that's on the cam chain holder, cam holder. So now I just turn the cam till it lines up with that and put the screw in. Supposed to use some Loctite on this. I'm not going to put that on yet until I know that the valve shim situation is correct. Okay. That should be the compression stroke right there. Right there. And the mark is lined up down here, so it should be ready to check the valve clearance again. Alright, the intake is 0.178, which is within the tolerance for both. So there, that one was fine before, now this one's fine. The exhaust, I don't know what happened, it's way off. The left-hand valve is 0.584 still. And maybe I didn't do the math right. A minus V, right? The right-hand exhaust valve is too tight. It's 0.1. It's supposed to be between 0.25 and 0.30. Right, so A minus V, 0.76 minus 0.28, 0.48 plus 1.4, with a 1.88, so I put a 1.9 in, correct? I'll see what I put in there. Yeah, there's two here. There should be, the three came in the kit, so I took one out of there. And then this one was 0.889, so 0.89. Right, so A, which is minus, which is 0.89 minus what I want, 0.28, plus what was in there, which is a 1.4, should have been a 2, and So I did the math wrong. Oh, I added these two. That dummy. I did these ones without the calculator and I screwed it up. So 0.89 minus 0.28 is 0.61 plus 2.4 plus 1.4, which was what was in there, is 2. So I should have put a 2 and I put a 2.6. So what would that have done if I put a 2.6, right? Just 0.6. I don't know. I know that I have to take it apart again. There is some clearance, right? Because you can rock it. And I can get this very small one in there, I think. Yeah. Barely. So maybe it's not even that. Maybe it's 0. Oh, fuck me. Alright, I gotta take it apart again. Okay, finally got it. Took 2 more times to get it right, but I finally got it. Okay, this is 120 inch-pounds on these bolts. I already have them at 110. Okay. Now I'm going to take the cam bolts out and put some Loctite on them, and then they go to 150 inch-pounds. So there is one more clearance adjustment on the 450, and actually put it into ballpark compression stroke. Here's the compression stroke. See if you can see it. So this is a decompression, automatic decompression mechanism here, and it's driven by this lobe and little cam on the end of the cam lobe on the end of the cam, and is a manual adjuster on this arm, and it's supposed to be 0.63, and it's more like 0.33. So I have to put more play into that. Kind of a pain in the ass to get to this thing. You can't come at it from the other side because the arm gets in the way. Alright, so there's 0.6. Yeah, okay. Pretty good. Okay, so that's done. Now I got to do the cam chain adjuster. Okay, so the cam chain adjuster. So it pops out, and if you turn a screwdriver in the little slot that's in the hole there, it'll back it up like that. So, yeah, and then you let go of it, and then you defeat what you want to do. So I need to wind this thing up. Okay, now, without letting it go, I need to put it in here. Shouldn't it have just come out? There it is. Okay, so now it's set. All right. Okay, so back to the CRF carburetor. I think where I left off is I took the mid-body piece out, and when I went to put it back together, this gasket was so swollen, it just didn't want to go into place. It looks like it is kind of unswollen because it just dried out or whatever. But this is a kit for just the mid-body part there. I think you can additionally take this off, and it comes with replacement screws with Allen heads. This is the all balls one, and then there's an all balls accelerator pump rebuild kit. I don't know that I needed that, but we'll see. I did blast out all of the passages. Again, it's funny to me that port looks like it's blocked by that little silver thing in there. But I've seen videos, rebuild videos where that's in there. Anyway, and then throttle position sensor, I tested it, it's garbage. It doesn't work at all, and here's a replacement one. This is the original one. Okay, so let's put this back together, and then I could probably try to start that thing again. My foot is not looking forward to that. Yeah, I did get this cover. Which goes... don't tell me it's not the right cover. Okay. That's obviously not the right cover. I thought I had got the right cover. There's a screw there that does something. I bought this bolt. How could it be the wrong cover? And it ain't the right cover. Nope. Well, it's $30 or whatever. I have to go check on that. Alright, so there's two screws that hold this on. And under there's yet another little weird gasket thing. Seal. And more little orifices. Which I will blow out. There's your pilot. Yeah, that's the idle jet. I don't know what this is. It's a different jet. That's the main, of course, but this is like kind of other jet where I don't know what it does. I can just make sure it's clear. It is clear because I can see through it. Anyway, since I have this off, I'll just go ahead and blow it out. Take this gasket off of here. Okay. So there's these two gaskets here. This doesn't seem like it's the right size at all. Again, is this even the carburetor for this fucking bike? Look at that. So that doesn't fit. It looks like it should fit. These look like they're too big. All balls, usually you get their, I mean, I paid more for it because it's from them. I also bought a generic rebuild kit. I think just the mid-body kit was 35 bucks. This is a generic kit, which is supposed to have all of them. It's like too big all over. You can see like right here, it doesn't have a curve in it. This piece here is too big. It's like totally wrong. Unbelievable. Mid-body jet block kit, closed course racing only Honda. CRF450, CRF450X, CRF450R 02 to 06, CRF450X 04 to 05 to 07. Okay. Let's see if the generic kit works. I wonder if this is the bike, the carburetor that goes on this effing bike. It's the exact same thing. It's too big. I don't know if this is the right carburetor. Okay, so let's see. Very, very similar, but not the same. You can see this one sweeps downward. Yeah, this might be the wrong this might be the wrong carburetor for this bike. Yay. Oddly enough, that gasket seems to fit perfectly fine. Do I trust these little square things anymore? Just put the square ones on that were on it previously. I think we'll go ahead and do that. So that's like what, $70, $80 worth of parts. Again, it looks like this is just the wrong carburetor. So I might be buying a carburetor. Who even knows what this is for? Maybe this carburetor is a clone. I don't see K-Hine anywhere on it. Maybe this is one of the clone ones that you can get. Alright, well, it's going back together with the old gasket on it. Let's see. So the accelerator pump kit did fit. It's supposed to come out of here. So it is working. It doesn't. Doesn't send much. If I block this off, if I block that port off, there's a bypass that it comes out in the float ball, and that doesn't have anything in it. Okay. Okay, so at least that part works. Well, it's not leaking. But I still don't see the accelerator pump working. All that fucking work. Clone piece of shit. Oh well. God, this bike sucks. Of course, the generic throttle position sensor has exactly the correct looking fitting, but it's the wrong one. So they both have female. This takes a male, right? Which explains why someone bought this generic piece of shit idle position sensor, which is already bad, and hacked off the end it came with, which was probably that, and put this one on, which probably came from the original. So now I have to go solder. Alright, well there it is. Put that on it. Okay, yeah, more good news. So I just ohmed out this generic replacement throttle position sensor. It's not anywhere near the spec. Between the black and blue wires, it's supposed to be 4 to 6 k ohms. It's 1.4 meg ohms, 500 times more. And then between the yellow and the black, where it's supposed to change as you open the throttle, I tried it and it makes no difference. It's 1.5 meg ohms, it just stays there. It doesn't do anything in reaction. So this is just absolute garbage. Garbage, piece of junk, waste of money. And it was a waste of 20 minutes putting the new connector on there. Same exact thing, that I got the same exact readings out of this one. So this is the generic piece of junk one that came probably with the clone carburetor, which is useless, and that's why somebody cut the head off and put it on there. I've also wondered why these throttle cables don't fit properly, you know, and it doesn't, like, see how it kind of binds up there. It's because these don't fit correctly. There's probably some kind of adapter that's supposed to go in there. But of course, it doesn't. We don't have it. So again, just an indication that it's a clone. And this is garbage. And there's a gazillion people selling these on eBay for whatever they were, $25, $30. They're a ripoff, complete junk, complete garbage. Same as the one that I took off, garbage. Doesn't do anything at all. It just looks like the part. That's all they do. So many times you get ripped off that way. As you can tell, I'm out of breath. Doesn't want to idle. The water pump does build pressure, and it did have some fluid in it. I added a little bit, but the water pump leaks. I do have a water pump rebuild kit. The engine, I had it running for a while, got all nice and hot. Could not get it to idle off choke. But it wasn't blowing any smoke, and it seemed to run really strong. I just think that carburetor is a piece of garbage. I remember the idle jet, idle fuel mixture screw was 6 turns out. I put it 1.5 turns out. You know, and it was another clue that it's a clone is that none of the jets had any numbers on them. So I think what I'm gonna do is go look and see if I can find an actual Honda carburetor for it, K-Hine. Because it does seem to run, and it runs strong, but it doesn't want to run. Once it got warm, I almost got it to run off of idle, but if you rev it up, run off of choke. If you rev it up, it's okay. But as soon as you put the choke in and try to let it idle down, it was bogging. So there's something up with that carburetor. Oh man, that sucks. I thought I might be able to take it for a ride. Not today, but at some point. Well, yes, another exciting episode of Watch Carl Waste His Money. I think I'm $400, maybe $420 into the carburetor situation. As you saw, the bike does run, and it sounds like a tiger, and it really, sounded great. It doesn't blow any smoke. It seems to run strong, so that's a good thing. So obviously, the starting problem was the valve clearance, because you can see it, like first kick, it started right up. That's how they're supposed to start. You have to kick it for 15 minutes. Obviously, there's something wrong with it. So there's going to be some more episodes. And as you can see, it's right behind me. I haven't put it back together. We got hit with some bad weather here last week. Last weekend there was a snowstorm. The weekend before that there was an ice storm. So we had, the gym was closed, the kids' school were closed. I mean, I moved down here to get out of Massachusetts in horrible weather. Up in Massachusetts they had like 1.5 feet of snow, so at least I didn't have to deal with that. But the problem is down here in Raleigh, North Carolina, they don't have snow plow trucks, and nobody has snow blowers. They don't even have snow shovels. I couldn't even buy a snow shovel. So they're not equipped to deal with ice and snow. So last time they had snow that accumulated for a while and got on the roads for days, it was like 20 years ago. So sure enough, I moved down here, and the first winter they have snow. But whatever, it's pretty much melted now. Right, so I haven't been in a hurry to get that one going, because opening the garage door, it's right just today, it's 31 degrees outside and it's windy, so it's been pretty cold. I'm hoping, the weather through November and even early December, mid-December, it was okay. It was like in the 50s, chilly but not bad, 40s, 50s. When it gets cold, like 30, 20 outside, you just don't want to go outside at all. So I've been doing a lot of engine work on some other bikes, which I will show some of it later. Anyway, thank you for watching. Hopefully I'll put out another video next week. I know I said that last time, and it was 3 weeks. I want to put out another SL125 video. That is basically finished. It's sitting in front of me, and it looks awesome. The guy who did the paint really did an awesome job on it. And I had whatever. We'll see that later. Okay. Thank you for watching. See you later.